R. Kelly, convicted of sexually abusing children, and Robert Sarver, the owner of the Phx Suns, seemingly a racist. Well, he definitely seems to be a racist. So let's start with R. Kelly. R. Kelly just was convicted of 3 of the 4 counts in a federal trial in Chicago over sexual abuse allegations with children. Now, there was a young lady who testified in that. She testified anonymously. She testified at the young age of 14. R. Kelly started to abuse her. Between 15 and 18, she said she had hundreds of sexual encounters with R. Kelly that were explicitly videotaped. Now, remember, way back, he did an interview and he made a statement that he didn't break any laws. Here's that statement.
Have you broken any laws when it comes to women?
Absolutely not.
Also, he made this huge scene, seemingly making himself the victim in another interview.
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
So, after everything, he's a serious creep. And if you listen to his music, shame on you, because you're lining the pockets of a convicted sexual abuser of children. Now, what's the difference between him and Michael Jackson? Well, I guess there's no hard evidence about Michael Jackson. We never heard any testimony in court that was released, nothing like that, right? So there's the speculation of maybe it isn't true, maybe it is, everybody has their own opinion. However, with R. Kelly, a jury listened to people testify, they found that testimony credible, and they convicted him of those charges. So again, shame on you if you're gonna listen to R. Kelly's music after all of this. Just like shame on Robert Sarver, the owner of the Phx Suns. He's been under investigation from the NBA for the past year. And as a result of that investigation, the NBA found he used the N-word 5 times, and he made misogynistic comments about women. He demeaned women. He didn't treat them properly. He treated men and women differently. That is a horrible human in my mind. So what did he get for this behavior? Well, he got a $10 million fine, which is the maximum allowed, and he got a 1-year suspension. And now many people are saying this isn't enough. PayPal came out with this statement. They're a sponsor of the Phx Suns, and they said, hey, Sarver's comments do not jive with our culture, so at the end of the season we'll not be renewing with the Suns anymore. LeBron James came out, and he said, hey, I read through the Sarver story a few times now, I gotta be honest, our league definitely got this wrong. Chris Paul goes on, like many other reports, I reviewed the report, I was horrified and disappointed about what I read. This conduct, especially towards women, is unacceptable and should never be repeated. So remember Donald Sterling, the old owner of the LA Clippers. Now, he received a lifetime ban and a $2.5 million fine. Only $2.5 million because at the time, that was the maximum allowed. And he got fined in part for this recording.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associating with black people.
Now, how are these different? Well, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, who dishes out this punishment, he said this about Sterling's conduct. Blatant racist conduct directed at a selected group of people. He says that is completely different than the Sarver incident. And he goes on to say specifically, and I quote, about the Sarver incident, wholly of a different kind than we saw in the Sterling case. I disagree, man. Racism's racism. Sterling didn't use the N-word in any of the recordings we heard. He referred to them as black people, which still is inappropriate. But if you're throwing around the N-word and on top of that, you're making misogynistic comments, you're not treating women properly, and you're treating men and women differently, and you get a 1-year suspension, that does not seem fair. And because of the comments from PayPal, LeBron James, Chris Paul, and others are going to follow, this is what always happens. Money matters. So what the NBA is going to do, in my opinion, is you're going to see a stiffer sentence come out for Sarver. They're going to respond to the social outcry. Why? Because if they don't, I think you're going to see players revolt during the season. Remember, the LA Clippers, they got dressed and they put their jerseys inside out. If the players revolt, they won't play. They're creating noise. That's bad for business. So how do you make that disappear? You ban Robert Sarver. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the comments. Appreciate you.